Group investigation is a very defined model of teaching. There is certain syntax that must be followed. The very beginning is that you state the objective, so the students are very aware of what needs to be done, which I did, and then from there you present puzzlement. The puzzlement, you're not supposed to give them any clues or hints. However, you're supposed to allow them just to look at it and formulate questions that then we record together, and from there we'll use those as the springboard to research, and that is the actual investigation part. This unit is on money. It's from the Open Court Unit 4 money section. So we're using the go-around dollar as one of our main pieces of research. We're incorporating multiple current standards in addition to the Common Core standards of collaboration, problem solving, and using complex text to prove with evidence, so as a means to investigate. Good morning, guys. Today we're going to do a group investigation, and we're going to be thinking like economists. We're going to be using research to, 1, solve our problems, our unanswered questions, and we're going to be using our thinking tools to frame our questions. Do we understand? Yes. You'll be working in groups. I will require you to participate, to use your language of the discipline, and your most scholarly behavior. So, what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to be thinking about details, big ideas. I would like for you to be thinking about rules. I would like for you to be thinking about ethical issues. And I am going to be giving you a variety of resources to do that. You'll be able to use our different books, all of our books, in addition to internet research, as well as your textbook. I expect you to use all of your resources. Any questions? I want you to look very closely at what I'm about to present to you. I'm not going to tell you anything about it. I don't want you talking about it. I want you pondering. I want you thinking and just absorbing the information that I show you. Any questions? Okay, here we go. Just look at it. Look at it. Think. Ponder. Like I said, look at the details. Look at the rules. If there's any big ideas that pop into your brain, use our thinking tools in order to get a good idea of what exactly you're looking at, because I'm going to ask you to come up with some unanswered questions. Questions regarding this are puzzlement. Okay, now you're going to get your own copy. Everybody's going to get their own copy. And in your groups, you're going to discuss this puzzlement. You're going to come up with 3 to 5 awesome scholarly questions. Can you do it?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Of course you can. Okay, my sweethearts. Here it is. Don't start researching quite yet, so let's close these books. Just look at the puzzlement. Look at it closely. Decide, as a group, discuss collaboratively what you want to write down as far as your questions. And I'm going to give you a sticky note to write it down on. So you may start talking and debating what your questions about this picture or these pictures is going to be. So, talk. Okay, this is for your questions. That is a great question. Write it down.
Can we help each other?
Yeah, you're supposed to. Remember, try to frame your questions using our keywords if you can. Not only using our thinking tools, but also purpose, consequence, reaction, significance, reasons, kinds, and function.
Why is this illegal if we copy it in a color? Yes.
Okay, hey, that's a great question. Why would it be illegal? Why would it not be, or how about, why can't you photocopy money? There you go, write it down. Good job. Okay, Sam, what was your question, babe?
How are those pretend money called again?
What, honey?
How are those called again, the pretend money?
The big bricks of money?
No, the pretend money that they use them to buy things, but they're not real money.
Oh, counterfeit money. Okay, counterfeit money.
Why is it bad to make counterfeit money?
Okay. Now, can we use a keyword? Can we use a keyword? Okay, that would be good. Don't worry about your spelling. Worry about your ideas, okay? How are we doing over here?
Good.
What do we got?
We created money.
And why are there a lot of details on the dollar bill?
Oh, nice.
And what does the serial number mean?
Okay, can we fit in any keywords about it, okay, let's look at that first question. Who created money? Let's look at that. Can we fit in a keyword to make that question more specific?
What is the purpose of who created money?
What is the purpose of creating money? Excellent. That's fantastic.
What kinds of money are there, like in different states?
Okay, so what kinds of money is in the United States? Excellent. Okay, write this down, my friends. You're on to something. How are we doing over here?
Good. I'm writing my question.
Good. How are we doing as a group?
Oh, good.
Okay, don't be looking things up. We're not researching. You guys are jumping the gun. We're just doing this. Okay, don't research.
We used the dictionary.
And we're not researching yet, and don't worry about your spelling. Don't worry about that. I have my gate kids are clustered. I have then a nice grouping of high, medium, low. So my high is not necessarily the leader. Sometimes I have my lows and my mediums that are leaders to teach them leadership skills, in addition to giving them the opportunity to really get into the investigation and not get taken over by a more dominant child. These are the keywords. These were developed by Dr. Kaplan to give specificity to questioning, to framing sentences. As you can see, there's purpose, consequences, reaction, significance, reasons, kinds, and function. And you'll notice that the students will frame their research and frame their questions using this. And you've probably heard me prompting them to use them. In third grade, this is new, and they don't have a tremendous amount of experience with it yet, hence the prompting. From there, they will become very proficient and adept at using them in 4th and 5th grade, so it won't require as much prompting. Maybe we come up with, use a keyword, maybe what are the purpose or what's the function or what is the reason for having a serial number. So rewrite that question because that's a great question. What are the star notes? Okay, well, again, you jumped the gun and you used some of your research. However, we can still use that question. What is, use a keyword, what is the purpose? Or maybe some of our thinking skills. What are the rules for using a star note, because there are specific rules and there's reasons. So use your keywords and your thinking skills to write that. And then what are the silk threads? Okay, well, we know that they're threads of silk, so we've already answered that question. However, let's reframe it, because other kids can research that, and those are good questions. So maybe, what are the rules used for silk threads, or what is the purpose or the reason or the function? So rewrite those using keywords and thinking tools, okay? And no more research until I tell you to. Love you guys for being excited though. Keep it up, okay?
Illegal to make counterfeit money. Why is it a secret to make fake money?
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good question.
I put what is the secret to make the money?
What is the secret to making money? Okay.
To make money.
Okay, but you also need to incorporate his question too. So
Why is it a secret?
why is it illegal to make your own money, was his question. Write that down. That is a great question. And then maybe a follow-up question. What would be the consequences? So use your keywords. Please raise your hand if you have two solid questions, two questions that you think are good questions. Good. You guys do. You're just reworking yours. Good. All my groups do. You have 3 more minutes to come up with one more question, and then we're going to share out. Got it? Excellent. Okay.
You did it backwards.
The next step of this lesson within the syntax is to solicit questions from the students. My students have been working in groups. You can do this multiple ways. You can have them ponder the puzzlement independently and come up with their questions, or you can put them into groups, whether it be pairs or triads, groups of 4 or larger, depending on your needs for your classroom. And they will write down their questions. I will ask them 4 questions, and I'm going to put it on this retrieval chart. And the purpose of the retrieval chart is that we can go back to it, because I want the students to be able to have it to reference constantly. And in addition to that, I'm going to use this as a springboard later for further investigation. Okay, at this time, I am going to now ask you what you came up with. What questions do you have? I've been walking around. I have heard some fantastic questions. You have some amazing, brilliant things to share. So blind me with your awesomeness. Thank you, Sweet Pea. Who wants to go first? Oh, I love it. So many hands. Okay.
What is the consequences of counterfeiting? Why is it legal to make your own money? Who created the dollar bill? Why does money only have pictures of people who are no longer alive? What will happen if you counterfeit?
Okay, sweetheart, you gave me a bunch of questions. I would like for you to pick your favorite question right now. Of those, the one you think would be best for the whole class, for all of us to research, and I'm going to write it down. What does money only have pictures of people who are no longer alive? Excellent, Kai. Next question. Omar, come on up here, my love. Read your questions in a nice big voice, project, take a little step further so you're not leaning against the smartboard, and then I'm going to have you pick one.
What is the purpose of who created money? What is counterfeiting? Whose signatures on both sides are different? What is the significance of the symbols of money? Why is there different kinds of money? What is the purpose of money?
Okay, which one would you like to do? And we'll write up here. Significance
of symbols of money.
I love that question. Omar's question, what is the significance of the symbols on money? So what is the significance
What is the consequences of making counterfeit money? What is the purpose of money? What is the reason of the serial number on money?
And which one would you like to do?
I would like to do. What is the purpose of money?
Okay, Samuel would like to write up here, what is the purpose of money? Well, so far, I've gone through 3 parts within the syntax of group investigation. I've stated the objective, I have presented puzzlement, and I have solicited questions. I'm very pleased how the students have used their puzzlement, have used the keywords to frame their questions, and have really did a good job talking and discussing their questions in a collaborative way as a group. At this stage in the game, being 3rd graders, they tend to be a lot more successful doing that together and having me facilitate that versus having to do it independently. However, upon reflection, I could have made this a much better lesson had I not allowed them to have their open court book on their desk, because these guys are eager and they were jumping ahead and wanting to do the research immediately. While stating the objective or while presenting the puzzlement, I should have been more firm and have said, please do not go ahead and research. Let's just stick with the puzzlement and formulate our questions. But I'm really pleased with the type of questions that they came up with, and it's obvious that they did use the key words to construct their sentences. Okay, yesterday we started out by me stating the objective, what exactly it was you were going to be learning, giving you your task. Then from there, I broke you off into groups, and you looked at your puzzlement. You looked at your picture of money that I photocopied for you, and you came up with questions. We went to the 3rd part of the lesson, and we wrote down your questions, or at least some of your questions. From there now, the next step we're going to be doing, we're going to be using complex text to answer our questions. We're going to be proving with evidence. Proving with evidence doesn't just mean that you're finding questions. It's meaning that you're going to get into that text. You're going to get into this information, into your book, into our trade books, and I even have more information, and you're going to use your inferencing skills. You're going to be using your cause and effect thinking skills. You're going to be using the elements of depth and complexity. You're going to be using all of that to really get as much information and as thorough of an understanding about your question as possible. It might seem scary, but you do it all the time, so don't get scared. Don't forget, we're going to be using our language of the discipline. Obviously, we have unanswered questions. We're going to be looking at details. I want you to think in terms of rules. And I want you to think of ethical implications or ethical issues. Remember those shades of gray. Okay. Use these to guide yourself, in addition to the keywords, when you're formulating your sentences for your research. Okay? Now, I want you to let's look at this. For example, why does money only have pictures of people who are no longer alive? Well, that's an unanswered question, isn't it? Yeah. What is the significance of the symbols on money? Well, you're going to have to be doing 2 things. You're going to have to be looking at the details in addition to the rules. Do we understand?
Yes.
Okay. Who invented money and why? That's a biggie. It's a big ol' unanswered question. We might even have to look out change over time for that one. What is the purpose of money? Again, we're going to be looking at rules. Why do bad guys make fake money? And what are the consequences of making your own money? That would be ethical implications, because we're looking at right and wrong and all the spaces in between. Okay? So you're going to be really thinking about ethical issues when you're talking about bad guys counterfeiting money, making their own money, and the consequences of that. What is the purpose of star notes? Again, you're going to have to look at the details and the rules. Do we understand? You're going to have to, in order to understand the rules, you have to understand the details. They work in tandem. They go together. Then why is George Washington on the dollar bill? Well, again, you're going to have to analyze a lot of details. There might be some rules in there. You're going to have to figure it out. Now, as far as your circle map goes, I would prefer that you guys focus on one really good question. However, if you find that you have time, that you have wrung every single inch and drop of information out of your research to get your answers, and you have a really good, thorough understanding of what it is that you researched, you may move on to a second. Obviously, your name's going to come up here, the date. You know that. Money, okay? I would like for you to write down your question up here. Now, if you are going to be doing two questions, and you and your group know it because you are that good, put a line right here so you have the top for one question, the bottom for your second. So, in short, start out only using the top portion of your thinking map. Move on to the second as needed. Thinking map, circle map. What you're going to do, you know the rules on this one. You can write words, you can bullet point, do it however you feel comfortable with. However is most comfortable for you to organize your ideas. I will be walking around then, facilitating and helping, but not giving answers. And I will be giving you index cards. You will put your final information for answering your question on an index card. First things first, though, as a group, decide which of those questions you want to research. You only have 30 seconds to do it, then you need to get on your game and start the work. Do we understand? Yeah. Remember, compromise. Not every person's going to get their way. Number 2, collaborate. I don't want any lone wolves. You guys have to work as a group. Talk. Debate. Got it? Any questions? Yes, Anthony. Okay. Isaiah.
What if we wanted to do 3 questions?
I want you to focus on really doing a good job on 1, maybe moving on to 2, Isaiah. I'm more interested in the quality of your work versus how many you get done. Okay? Any other questions? Okay, let's rock and roll. Okay, so you want to do the symbolism of money? Well, that was your question that you guys came up with. And you want to do who invented it. So how are you guys going to figure out and decide?
Let's vote, huh?
You're going to vote? Okay, hey, it's very democratic. You're going to talk about it and discuss it? Okay. I'd like for you to come up with a decision quickly. Have you guys decided what question you're going to do?
Ours?
What is yours?
Why does money only have pictures of people who are no longer alive?
If that's the one you want to do, and are you in agreement with that? Are you in agreement with that? then get on it.
You said that you wanted me to say what is the purpose of money?
Okay, what question are you guys going to do? Okay, so you want to know the purpose of money? Is that the question you guys are researching? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to need this in addition. Okay?
But why do you say that?
Okay, no, you already did. Have you decided what question you're going to be answering?
Nope.
Okay, I need you to do that now.
Why is it legal to pick?
Well, you can do your own question.
Copy money?
Okay. You know what? I think it would be great for you guys to work on counterfeiting. Okay? Look, I even have more information on that for you. So, get started. Okay, what question are you guys doing?
Why does money have pictures of people who are no longer alive?
Okay. I want you, here is extra research, and you guys can get started. And you're all in agreement with that question? Okay. Yes, honey. I bet you can find all kinds of information on there. You already did this research. This is your guys, this is your work. So, we looked at the significant details of their lives. We looked at the problems that they were faced within our country and their solutions and contributions to our country. So use that information to figure out why they would be important enough to be honored by being on our currency, on our money. What I would like for you to do is two things. One, I want you to share out a couple, maybe your best or your top two if you have two really good answers. So your best points. And then number two, I want you to start pondering. I want you to start thinking about any other unanswered questions that you have as a result of the research. Research, it's one of those things where the more you investigate, the more you realize you don't know things. So you generally have a lot more questions. How many of you guys found that? That as you were looking for stuff, you're like, oh, I got more questions. Omar, you did? Axel, you too? Yeah, Isaiah, a lot of you guys did. Okay, that's natural, that's fantastic. That's what we want. So we're going to continue to investigate money throughout this unit. We're going to continue this project. It doesn't end today. It's going to take us a while because we have a lot of unanswered questions.
It'll take to the destiny.
It's your destiny? Or take you to your death? Is that what you said? Maybe. And you know what? There are some researchers out there who have unanswered questions who spend a lifetime finding their answers. For example, there are doctors, medical researchers who have these big questions about diseases, and they'll spend their entire lifetimes trying to find the answer, which then can be turned into a cure. So, an hour to answer your questions, not going to cut it. That's why we're going to spend a lot more time doing this. So, as a group, what I'd like for you to do is I would like for one representative who can come up and project with a nice loud voice, read the question that you have researched. Then you're going to give your best point. Okay, Isaiah, start with your question.
Why is it illegal to counterfeit money? Some people called counterfeiters do make fake money, and they're found and go to jail.
Okay, but did you guys find the reason why it's illegal? Do you understand why it's illegal? Not yet. No one in your group understands yet why it's illegal? Okay, does anybody in this classroom know why it's illegal? Okay, John, what do you think?
Because if it's illegal, it means it's fake.
Okay.
And if you pay with it, you go to jail.
But why would it be illegal? What is the reason for it? Damien, Okay, hold on. Nice big voice. You forgot?
Because it's fake money.
Okay, but why would fake money be bad?
Because that's just like stealing money.
Okay, good. Anybody else want to add to that? Okay. Angel?
Like if they have a dollar bill and they copy it with lots of copies, and when they waste the real dollar bill, they could just use it, the fake one and fake one all over again.
Okay. And then what do you want to add, Jasmine?
It's illegal to make fake money because people wanna have a lot of money and buy more things and trick people by having fake money.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Samuel?
Because you'll not be doing anything to earn it.
Okay, so you're saying that making fake money is bad because you're not doing anything to earn the money. We're going to write that down. It's illegal. And you'll go to jail, so there's jail time involved. And fines. You're hurting others, which becomes an ethical issue. It's motivated by greed. And, as Sam poignantly said, you didn't do anything to earn it. Excellent. Okay, now let's move on to another question. What group researched a different question? Okay, Axel, you want to represent your group? Okay, please come up.
Why does money have pictures of people who are no longer alive? People who are no longer alive are on dollars because they are important Americans. People who are no longer alive on dollars are on dollars because they were doing stuff that was great.
Great for whom?
For people?
For which people?
Americans?
Okay, excellent. Okay, so Axel's question was, why are the people that are on American currency no longer alive? So why do we only have dead people on our money, in layman's terms? And he said, 1, they were famous Americans, and 2, they did something great for our country. Anybody want to add to that? Okay, think about it, ponder. Anybody want to give reasons or specifics of what they did or who they were?
Presidents?
Were all of them presidents? I don't know about that. I don't think all of them were presidents, but a lot of them were presidents, yes. Okay, Naomi?
Because they were important people.
Okay, we know they were important people, but why were they? Who were they? And why were they important?
Because they changed the country.
Okay, a lot of them changed the country, yes. And who were they?
Fathers and presidents.
Founding fathers and presidents. And that's fantastic. Good job. Okay, so let's write that down. Okay, so we have people who are no longer alive on money. We know they are presidents and founding fathers. They made great contributions to America. And as Naomi and Angel both said, they changed America. Excellent.
What does the green seal mean? George Washington means...
The green or the Great Seal?
The Great Seal. The symbol of George Washington means symbol. The symbol of unity and trust. The pyramid means peace. Well, actually, yeah, not peace and trust.
Okay. Good. Anybody want to add to that? So Brian in group was talking about symbolism on money. And he said that the Great Seal was peace and trust. And then George Washington had to do with unity and trust. Armando, come on up here.
The eagle faces the olive branch, which means the United States wants peace, not war.
Excellent. Hey, that's fantastic. I know you guys were working on the same question. Do you have anything to add, Raul? Come on up, huh?
The eagle is holding an olive branch, which stands for peace, and it is also holding arrows, which stand for war, and the pyramid, which stands for strength and growth. The eye stands for spiritual value.
Excellent. Good job. Symbolism. We have the seal. We have Washington. The eye. The eagle. And the pyramid. Okay, what does the I stand for again?
Spiritual value.
Spiritual value. What about the pyramid?
Strength and growth.
Strength and what? Strength and growth. Who else has any unanswered questions that we should write down? Talk about it in your groups. You have 30 seconds. Come up with a couple unanswered questions.
Why do different countries make different money?
Oh, I think that's a fantastic unanswered question.
Who invented the emblems?
What is the purpose of the serial number? What is the consequences of counterfeiting?
Okay. We're going to put this to the side. Don't do it yet. Not yet. Calm bodies, please. However, we are going to continue researching. We still need to do a couple more things. You need to, 1, find out more information to answer your question in a much deeper and more complex way. 2, we need to summarize our findings and on our index card and post them on our retrieval chart. 3, you're going to, after we do that, you're going to write a 1 to 2 paragraph paper discussing your understanding and findings. So basically, you're showing off your knowledge. Got it? Okay, we're not going to get that all done today because that's impossible. We're also going to continue looking at these questions and these questions. These are now our springboard for further investigation as this unit continues.
In today's lesson, we had a circle map to write down unanswered questions, and we had to do a research about our question, and then write it down on the circle map, and then we had to get up and share our answers in front of the whole class. I learned about counterfeiting, how it's bad to do counterfeiting because you have to, they couldn't just get a job to do counterfeiting, because counterfeiting is bad and you can go to jail for 10 to 30 years. I like doing the group investigation because I like working in groups with other people. And I like doing the research because my favorite thing to do is read, and I liked reading a lot on the research. And I liked going up in the class and speaking.
Today we learned about counterfeiting and about the symbols of money and a lot of information that symbols mean and what counterfeiting means. First, the teacher told us to look in our research to find information about symbols and like counterfeiting. Then the teacher told us to make some questions, and last we tried to make some unanswered questions. And I liked it because we were together in a group.
Okay, so the purpose of a group investigation is to really put the learning onto the students. So it follows a very specific syntax. You have to state your objective, present puzzlement, solicit unanswered questions, research, summarize, and then they share out. They're summarizing, they're understanding, then recycling. And the recycling part is really important because that is the extension. That is then the springboard for further research. And it's basically, you're trying to get them to understand that any scholar, regardless of discipline, once they start researching, invariably come up with more unanswered questions. The group investigation is extremely important in terms of the Common Core standards for multiple reasons. One, you are using complex text. You're giving the students the opportunity to use text complexity to prove with evidence. You're giving them the opportunity to collaborate and work together. They have the opportunity to speak in front of their peers, so they have the oral component as well. The collaboration part is huge. They need to learn to work together. They need to learn to compromise. They need to learn to integrate their ideas and delegate. They also need to realize that you can rely on their that they can rely on their team members. And it's a form of inquiry. So they are able to use their curiosity as a means to come up with questions in order to research. And that's what every good disciplinarian will do anyway. What I love about Dr. Kaplan's depth and complexity, her content imperatives, her think like a disciplinarian, the universal themes and generalizations, the keywords, as well as the models of teaching, is that there's an amazing spillover effect. The spillover effect, I have found that the GATE kids have the opportunity just to soar. You know, they can jump out of that nest and they can just take off as far as they want to go. My high-achieving kids, well, those are just the really good students, and they benefit just immensely from it. My middle students is where I see the biggest amount of gains in confidence, in their scholarliness, in their academic pursuits. They really ratchet it up. And at the end of the school year, generally, their ability to think is indistinguishable from my high-achieving kids, and their progress is just absolutely amazing. My GATE kids, sometimes you can't tell who is who.